live stream here in this yoga, spiritual healers, manifesting dream businesses. Welcome in. You're liking that energy, that music in the background. I'll take it off for now. So you are joining me today in the Ideal Client Training. Okay, you are joining me today for this live training on how to figure out what is an ideal client and why is it important in your business and in the type of business that will help you scale. Okay, so let me know if you can see me or hear me. I can't tell anymore in the group. Okay, here you go. Okay, so my name is Sarah Leonardo. I'm a yoga coach. I also call myself the Yoga Coach Sarah. Thank you for tuning in today for the live stream. I work from home as a yoga coach, and I'm here to teach you how to build your own yoga and spiritual business from home, just like I did a couple of years ago. Going into, was it a couple of years ago? I started in December. I decided to change my life, to change my approach to my work in December 2019, like that end. I wanted a new career for myself at the end of 2019. And I'm here to teach you what I've done to build my own yoga business online. Okay. And my mission here in this group to help you spread your own yoga healings and teachings in this online space and what it takes to become successful in this industry. And in these group trainings, I want to give you the leg up on how to give you the mindset shifts you need so that you can create your own business, because there's going to be some mindset shifts. And if they don't happen, you're going to be stuck. You're going to be stuck in that fearful scarcity mode, that scarcity mindset. And so I'm here to show you that it's very easy to start creating your own online business and start embracing the abundance that is already yours, just waiting for you. Okay. So I guess for this train, I'll share my ideal client avatar story. So, and I'll explain more in depth later too on what an ideal client avatar is and what are the mistakes I made when creating an ideal client avatar. So when I first did it, I jumped right into a coaching program. I joined a coaching package. Every great business owner in this industry, or even like just anyone that you know has a huge influence in your life, they're like a public figure, had some type of coaching. And they didn't do that by themselves. They didn't become great overnight. They usually hired a mentor or followed a mentor to help them, get to where they are right now. So any great person that you're following has invested in coaching. And so that's kind of what I started hearing. I was listening to a lot of like podcasts and, I was going through like my own awakening there, as I didn't want to work at my job anymore. It was so stressful. It was just taking so much out of me. And so I started to kind of look into the different opportunities out there. I started meditating. I was in my yoga practice. That's when I really started to dial that self-care practice in. And then once I started to invest and take care of myself, I started to believe that this was meant for me, that this type of career is meant for me. And I want to show you how I did that and how it's easy for you to do that as well. And so I started to create the routines. I started to take care of I started to control my the mental thoughts. Okay. Instead of passively walking about life and just kind of like taking thoughts from somewhere else, taking thoughts, meaning like distractions. Okay. So I started to control the distractions that are coming through in my life. And then I started to really gain start to write down my goals. This is what I wanted to do. I wanted to, first of all, I didn't want to work where I was working anymore, but I needed to find out how. So I started following people that I loved what they're doing. And it's different people like, Mel Robbins, right? She started out as like a lawyer. And I think she was, I think it was her that put a thought in my head that like, I could do this. Okay. That I could build this for myself. And then I started to follow, I just started opening that doorway. I started opening that, that pathway for me. And then I started following people. And then I found my coach. And her name was Lori Kennedy, and she built her business online. She started out as a nutritionist, and she built her online business. And I invested in her coaching program, and she helped me, and her team helped me build this type of business. And now I've made it into my own, right? I'm now, over the years, I've made it into how it works for yoga teachers, how it works for yoga, for spiritual healers. And and I started to, once I completed that program, I knew it wasn't enough. Like, I knew that if I didn't continue that momentum, that I'm easily going to fall back to, that type of mindset where everything's just kind of fed to me through my employer. My employer gave me like, the pathway to how to make money online. And now I started to gain the confidence in that, knowing I can do it for myself. And then that's where I started my my coaching career. Okay. And that's where I created my first ideal client. Okay. And that's where I came across. And of course, I've invested in other masterminds after that. And I started to develop a learning kind of mindset that you're always going to be learning. If you're going to be a CEO of your company, you're going to have strong mindsets. You're going to have, you're going to be able to have a strong foundation for your business. Okay. So that means getting your mental health, getting your mental abilities really strong, being mentally strong. Okay. And so through that coaching, we started to create the idea of the ideal client. So an ideal client avatar is one person that you are going to serve. Okay. And so first I started to think of like, well, I think what my ideal clients are, what I was already good at. Right. And so I started doing that. I started, just to, I know I know what to do. I'm comfortable. Okay. First I started to follow like what was comfortable for me. And that was fine. I think like the idea of, doing that is just starting to see like how that work feels. Okay. And then I followed what I thought would just, help me like, help me get my return really quickly. Meaning like I invested money into the program. And so this is something that's going to like quickly get me money back. Okay. And so that's where I think some of the mistakes that I've learned is that, my mind was like in that, like, like I'm already in that lacking, like I'm already like, I'm lacking now. So I just have to make more money back. Right. And so that's kind of the danger and the slippery slope when starting this work. And I want to help you get really clear on your ideal client once you start to create content for them. Okay. And this is why it's important to create one ideal client for your business. Okay. And I'm going to go into detail a little bit more on that later. And after this training, I'm going to allow some Q&A at the bottom, and feel free to put your questions in today as well. So here you are. We got someone live. joining us today. If you're joining me live, type live, welcome in. Appreciate having you today. I'm happy to give you some quick feedback as well in this training. So I'm actually going to share the document too, so that way you can see it. And then if later, if you want a copy of it, let me know. I'll send it over to your messenger. And so why create an ideal client? Why can't you just like create it for everybody? You know, like, aren't we discriminating if we just like create content for one person? You're discriminating in a way because if you're trying to please the masses, no one's going to listen to you. And then that means you're not serving anyone. Does that make sense? Right? So if you try to create content for like A, B, C, D, E, F people, your messaging is going to get lost. So if you don't start creating content and you don't start to market to one client, your message is going to get lost because when someone reads that, it's not going to apply to them. It's not going to they're not going to spend any more time on content that's not relevant to them. If it's not solving their problem, it's not going to add value to their life. They're just going to scroll right on up and not care, right? And that's why having an ideal client avatar is so super important in making sure that this is dialed in your business, because you're going to be creating content for that one person, okay? And you create them because, you know, it's also scalable. This is one way you can scale your services, okay? If you're a yoga teacher, you're more likely familiar with, you know, fee for service type of model where you pay for a class, that's, you know, that's what people are paying you per hour, okay? But for this type of business, you're giving someone like a 12-week chance to create a transformation, okay? And so you're creating an opportunity for them to have a transformation in 9 to 12 weeks. Once they are doing your yoga classes, your yoga teachings every day, and then you follow up with them once a week in groups, okay? Is this starting to make sense? And so that type of ideal client, that means like everyone's in the same group and they're all experiencing the same problem, and they're there to like solve it together. And you can serve more people that way, okay? So that is my why. That is why you have to do this work, okay? So let's get right into the training, the actual training. Let me see if I could share my screen here. Here it is. Maybe I could do it here, move this around. And then I need to pull up the other screen. Okay. Share screen. Okay. So here it is. Here is the document, and here we're going to create your ideal client. So this is pretty rough, so I can clean it up a little bit better after today if you're wanting a copy. So the yoga ideal client avatar, you need to ask yourself these type of questions, okay? What is it that that you're able to, you know, who is it that you like working with? You know, like what is your, right? So what does your perfect client, you know, look like? You know, and then you can go through like it could be like a favorite client that you had, and then you just love giving, to a certain, um, uh, clientele that you enjoyed working with. And so that's one way you can, um, you can, attract them is, and then you could also like, you have to think about what the biggest result that you can help that you can help them with. And so that's what I want you to think is, make sure that you, one, create the biggest, you think about the biggest result that your business can help your ideal client. Okay. And so it could be like, it could be their number one most important thing that, they want to accomplish in their life. Could it be weight loss, or could it be, getting off medications, right? Or maybe helping them like, did you help a client where they were able to improve like their pelvic floor because they were leaking and whatnot? And then are they, so that type of thing. So I want you to start creating like what kind of result that you have through your yoga and spiritual teachings that you can help your client with. Okay. And then number two, like, you have to describe, the favorite client you've had and you want more of. Okay. So maybe do that. So I'm going to type it in here. Describe your favorite client that you had. Okay. And then, and also like, what is the biggest problem that your ideal client is dealing with? Okay. And describe it, like just word vomit it, just like dump it all in your, remember, this is kind of like an exercise so that you can start to really think about like who you can really help. And what is it that the biggest problem that your most ideal client is dealing with? Okay. And then, what are the things that are frustrating your perfect clients, like on the daily basis? Is it because like, they're wanting like routine, they're wanting like just a more, they want more stability, and yoga is there to like, they've done yoga before and it's just something that like they really, really want because they've fallen out of routine or something like that. Or, something that, or it can be something that you've experienced, right? Again, like your ideal client can be you. It can be like, hey, like I want to serve someone kind of just like me because I've had a transformation from yoga and, incorporating these spiritual healings. And then, you can start thinking about it that way, like, and then list out like what the frustrations are. Okay. Are they like, are your clients like doing things they don't want to do? They end up like, they just end up doing a lot of extra things that are not helping them. Are you, and then one thing that you can also do is you can explain what you would do if you were in their situation, right? Like if you started going in the path of, if your ideal client is you can kind of list like in like high level what you would like to do if you were in their situation. What you would be sharing, the what, right? And not the how. So you'd be sharing like how to do that. I'm sorry, what to do if you were in their situation. Okay. And then what is keeping your, ideal client worried and awake? Like, what is it that, what is it that they really, really want from you? Okay. And the reason why people need your leadership and your coaching is because they're lost and they just want someone to hold their hand. Like, right? Like anyone can just go on YouTube and find a yoga instructor and it would solve all their problems, but they don't, because they need your service, they need someone to hold their hand, keep them accountable, and they know this is what they want to do. Okay. It's going to solve all their problems. They know that doing yoga is going to help, it's going to help with pain, right? Physical pain, migraines, whatever. And you're there and you're just waiting for you to create this program. Okay. And so, what does your perfect client like complain about when they're not with their friends or family? Okay. What are they saying? Like, if only this was available, if, I don't have any time. I don't know how to do this, I don't know how to do this pose, that kind of thing. And then, and I want you to list out like what the cost is for not investing with you. What is the cost if they don't, start working with you now? Is it adding more medications on their list? Is it adding more pounds, or is it adding, more worries, right? Whereas like if they just did what you're doing, if they just kind of follow it would just solve all their problems. People pay for things. People pay for a transformation because like they're just tired of living like this life where they're lost, and they want you to take them where they're not experiencing that problem anymore. And you have to list that out once you do your ideal client work. Okay. And then, what is their most urgent, pressing crisis that they have? What is the real pain that they're facing? Right. And then and what's the biggest mistake that your client is making right now that's related to their problem? Okay. So in this work, you need to be able to know their problems, because if you're not talking to their problems, they're not going to think that you can solve it for them. So you're going to have to be able to know what their problems, with like the back of your hand, and you're there to walk them through a solution. And you're the answer to their problems. That's kind of the basic idea for this ideal client exercise. Okay. Is that you know their problems really, really deeply. And the fact that you know their problems, that shows you that you're the authority in your space, that you know how to take them from point A to point B. Okay. So I'm going to share the document, right? So I'm going to do that with you. So if you're wanting a copy of that, I want you to type copy, and I'm going to send it over to your message. Okay. So I'm going to do that, and then, okay. And so that's kind of how I dealt with my ideal client story. That was my story, is that I shared it right in the beginning. And then the mistake was that, I thought I was good at it, but I wasn't. And it started to kind of tear at like my confidence, because I was creating content, right? So you have to know, like, you have to answer those lists of questions. So you're gonna have to be able to create content that you like, right? So once I didn't do my ideal client work, I started to create content, and then I was like, oh, I don't feel good about creating this content. It just like, it doesn't, I don't like the experience. And so that's something that you should think of too, is that like you enjoy just like sharing sharing what you've learned to your people, right? You're creating community. You're creating like if you think about it, your ideal client is will be like lined up people in your community looking to you because you have the answers to their problems. Okay. So that's the ideal client work. If you've got this dialed down, if you still need a little bit more help, if this training kind of showed you like, oh, I've got more questions than, I got more questions now. And so you're welcome to give us a call to see if we can give you clarity in your business. Okay. And then, so this calls for, people that really want clarity to see if we can help you out in your business. Okay. And it's also for people that are not looking for a quick fix. This is kind of the long game. This is the long game to help people. Okay. But if you're someone that's like, okay, I'm ready to do this, I believe that I can do this work, then, and you're ready to add, 4-figure clients into your yoga business, then this calls for you. And you're a CEO, that you're ready to become a CEO that will step up for their community. And you're just ready to take on responsibility to build your own business. Okay. You're ready to just like see what you're made of and to start taking responsibility for you. Becoming a CEO to me was, like all the problems that I have in my business are my responsibility. Okay. It's no one else's fault, but that I have control, right? I have control of what I can fix in my business. And so you have to take full responsibility when you're ready to do this. Okay. But it's a good thing because you can control that. You can't control, someone else, like you can't control your boss, right? But you can control your actions and, the steps that it takes for you to go and achieve your dreams. Okay. So how we help people by just like this, like I shared a screen, and we help you complete your business. We actually can build it from the ground up if you have absolutely nothing and have no idea what funnels are. And that's a further training that we can do too, like what are funnels. And we take you on, we help build your business in just 3 months. Okay. And you can take that with you. We tell you how to build it. We tell you how, how to build your assets, how to bring in new leads, how to nurture them, how to make your sales. Okay. And then we also provide accountability every week. So that way, we're getting you to complete your work and that you're learning. Okay. And you're always learning. Okay. If you're not always learning, you're stagnant and your business is stagnant. Okay. So if you're ready for this type of lifestyle, because it's I can take my business with me anywhere that has good internet. And it's hard work, but it's something that can sustain you once you're ready to do this work. We also provide tech support, again, through Zoom. We're in touch with you regularly to make sure that we can fix things for you. We can fix your funnels, your domain names, right? Your platform. So if you're interested in this type of work and want to get ahead of everybody trying to go through the New Year's resolution, we can start helping you build your business now. And we can, I know it's December, so I'm actually going to give a huge discount for people that want to start early. Okay, so if this sounds like you, type ready in the comments or send us a message in the direct messenger, and we'll get you rocking and rolling. Okay, I don't see anyone live anymore, but you're welcome to type in this is the Q&A session. I don't see any comments, but you're still welcome to drop some comments before for this video, because we can always go back to it when someone types a comment. Okay, So let's do our awesome tarot pull. Is it still Sagittarius season? It's my favorite. Okay, I'm not Sagittarius, but guess what? I do have a lot of Sagittarius placements. So I love this this sign. It's just like fun. It's non-attachment fun. That's what I like about it. And then from some work in this business, you've got to have, there's going to be a level of unattachment. Okay, you can't be attached to your business because that's too heavy. It's too heavy. You're going to have to be able to be fun about it, keep learning, and it's all what it is. Oh my gosh, look at this. It is 10 of Cups. This is your message today. 10 of Cups energy to me is 10 cups. Cups represent emotions, right? It represents like celebration. You see like it's a family and these children. It just represents like a rainbow, so giving you hope, blessings, and that doing this type of work, you do it right. You do it right in a way where like you're doing the best that you can each time. You are looking at your metrics, you're looking at your routines, you're looking at your your responsibility for your team, and you're going to get just amazing fulfillment in this type of work if you keep doing it. Okay, so this concludes our ideal client training. I'm yoga coach Sarah, and I will see you next time. Looking forward to serve you. Take care.